Will go live. This is a recording, something from, I believe, 2015, 2016, and I almost deleted it because it wasn't a successful FaceTime. You know, the interchange between my kiddo and I is usually, you know, painting pictures, singing songs, reading books together. This is so destructive that to me, it sounds like torture. And so I'm sharing this with you. And I hope it doesn't land me in jail. But here it is. Listen carefully. So you see, Caleb was there, he was vocal, it sounded very stressful, and then he disappeared. Did he pass out? I've tried to talk to ICAC about this, I've tried to talk to IMPD about this, but they end up interrogating me, threatening and intimidating me, and then reversing it on me. So it's like victim blaming, victim shaming, dismissal, denial, and who cares about children's rights? Right? So it's been very, very difficult. And again, 47 DCS reports, not by myself, but by daycares, schools, and nurses. We have some serious issues with DCS. Here's another thing. Unless you can prove that there was fraud, unless you can prove there was abuse, then there is no fraud and there is no abuse. And the awesome power of the state that you live in, that I live in, will stand by the fraudulent and abusive agencies because that's their job. And the burden of proof is upon the petitioner. So here I am, surviving this man who is a verified batterer, this man who has lied, connived, cheated, stolen, and gaslit me, you know, since I've known him. So he's done all these things simultaneously or all together, as well as triangulating. So people in his network know his side of the story. They become irate and hostile towards me, so much so that landlords and neighbors will act out against me for no reason. Instance or example, I had pretty loud neighbors who had just moved in, and of their maybe 5 to 10 children on any given day, they would start fires. Now in these fires, there was a lot of noise that sounded like cans, aluminum, glass, and other things as well. And so there was the smell of toxicity in the air, which being a neighbor, I would be, you know, party to, not enjoyable and problematic for sure. And so as I called the fire department and they showed up and everything, you know, the explanation was given that, you know, I'm just being a Karen about it. Well, actually, to care that the health and safety of your neighborhood, that affects me deeply. And so what I proceeded to do was to counsel them, or you could say shepherd them, in something that I learned from a friend of mine who was a Boy Scout. You know, you just don't put those things in a fire because if they explode, someone could get hurt. And so, and plus burning plastics isn't good for the environment either. And so we have garbage disposal in our city, and to burn garbage is probably something you shouldn't do. And with flames taller than the fence line, it's probably going to be intimidating to a lot of people, and with no adult supervision, I felt compelled, so, to say the least. So if that means I'm a Karen, so be it. But I do believe that the way I function is to do the right thing at all times. And that means if I'm oriented towards safety and I'm oriented towards conservative views and the preservation of life, that probably makes me a productive member of society, because that's something that's reliable. How would you like a neighbor that was a threat to society? No. So maybe it's something to consider in the future, when you're dealing with, whatever, are these people a detriment to themselves, to society, and is it safe to be around them to begin with? So that's all I have. It's been almost 26 minutes here, and so I'm going to close this out. And for parents everywhere in the entire world, you have the right to raise your child the way you see fit, but to injure a child is not good for the child. And how is that good for you? Because that's your line of DNA. That's your legacy and your heritage. So a broken society is filtered through the parent. So let's be better parents, and let's look for trauma, and I don't know what to say. Call it out for what it is, and to make sure people are aware. No, that doesn't sound like a good solution to that problem. That sounds like you might be codependent. Maybe you should look into that. I don't know what to say about it, but I know that trauma bonding, Stockholm syndrome, codependency, enmeshment, I don't know, things like that. But PTSD is a very real thing, and so far I've not met anybody that doesn't have just a little bit of it. So let's take care of ourselves, and let's take care of our neighbors, but not to our own detriment. So that's all I've got. Over and out. See you later. Bye.